Okay, so this is the Virtual Business Owners Network. It is Friday, the 4th of July, 2025. Today we have a presentation from Manus Sheridan. Manus is the owner and founder of Blue Digital. Blue Digital are a digital marketing agency based in South Dublin. They specialize in generating revenue for small to medium-sized businesses via online marketing. The website address for anybody that wants to have a look is bluedigital.ie. And this morning, I'm delighted to say Manus is going to talk about the subject of what browser. So without further ado, over to you, Manus.
Awesome, Chris. Thanks for such a great introduction. And when you're giving my website address and all that, I've just remembered I haven't even put any of my contact details in a slide. There you go. Fantastic. So thanks for giving the heads up, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to chat about how to pick the best browser for your business that's out there, and things that you should consider when you're looking at browsers. So hopefully it'll be of some help to you all as business owners. So moving on, if I can. Okay. Just for the day that was in it, July 4th and all that sort of stuff. One big beautiful browser. Well, that's certainly enough of Donald Trump for one day. So why do browsers matter? Why does the choice matter to businesses? So for anyone that's not entirely aware, browsers are how you look at the interweb. It is the piece of software that you use to browse the internet. And these have many impacts. Productivity as to how you get stuff done with your work, how things are compatible with other tools that you might use in your day-to-day business life, such as banking applications or accountancy software, and other more bespoke softwares that you may be using. And then I've mentioned there the outdated browsers can have an impact on some of the applications that people might use. So for example, if your browser is outdated, your online banking may not work properly with that. So what sort of browsers are we talking about? So like there are some logos there that people will be familiar with. Chrome, Brave, Opera, Safari, etc. One that I logo-wise I haven't included was DuckDuckGo, and I know that was mentioned the last day, but just so that people are aware, like what's out there, what's used currently in this country is Chrome to the tune of 70%. DuckDuckGo is used by less than 0.5% of the population. So with that in mind, I haven't given it too much focus in today. But they are the main, the sort of the big player is Chrome. Microsoft Edge is next. Mozilla Firefox and Safari are following up closely behind. And then Opera and Brave are probably browsers that people might be less aware of, but are more out there on the security front. So security is or should be for most businesses the top priority as to what you consider when you're choosing browsers. So these will protect client data or prevent your computer from getting pretty sick with some of the malware or IT threats that are out there at the moment. Remembering as well that regular updates are such a necessity for all aspects of IT, but in particular with relation to your browsers. These keep security threats to a minimum and keep the system up to date. And then many browsers, such as Chrome, as an example, operate with an extension called Chrome Safe Browsing, which should give warnings to the user as to if you're about to go onto a site that has been known to provide threats to businesses, or to on a personal front, either for phishing, etc., that this is flagged to the user prior to them getting navigating to that site. Again, compatibility with business tools is a must as well for businesses. You want to know that what you're going to provide, either yourself or your staff to work with, is going to work with the key business tools that you're using. So if you're an Office 365 business, or if you're Google Workspace, then you've taken that consideration into place when you're going to choose your browser, which may rule out some of the smaller browsers instantly, because they're not as compatible or work as fluidly with the smaller browsers. So it is key to, and sorry, one of the examples I mentioned there is Sage requires certain browsers to work with, and that if your business is considering changing their browser, that you should test out those apps prior to rolling it out to the entire business to make sure that it is compatible and is working with your tools. Fast browsers, so performance and speed. Everybody wants a fast browser, and as I've written there, fast browsers equals high productivity. People can get stuff done. So when you start to move into some of the browsers, and these are considerations again that you must bear in mind when choosing a browser. So for example, Chrome is known to be a fast browser, but can be very memory intensive. And then on the other side, if your business is a user of Windows, then maybe you should be considering Microsoft Edge, as it's optimized for Windows. And then the tip on this one is to check for laggy complaints. So again, it's sort of a stress test of your browser. Let maybe a small team, or check it out yourself. Use the regular applications or extensions that you use on your browsers. Visit the sites, do your normal day-to-day work, and make sure that the browser is capable of handling that workload. So you want a browser that's going to work with all of your staff's skill levels. That it has sufficient extensions and themes. So I hope everybody is familiar with what I'm talking about, extensions and themes. The Firefox Reader Mode is an example again of the Mozilla Firefox actually they pretty much all have it now, but the Reader Mode can put a website or elements of text within websites into a nice simple viewpoint that people can read easily. And my tip again here is look to your staff for this. Which one do they feel is the best browser? Like obviously you should take their input on board as well. If people if everything is pointing to let's say Chrome, for example, but your staff find Edge easier to navigate and easier to use, that should be a large consideration with your choice of browser. So yes, integration with ecosystems. What I'm trying to cover here as well is that there's overlap between a lot of the browsers and the systems that might be used in the background on the sites, such as Edge and Windows, Safari and Apple and Chrome and Google Workspace. So these again should be considered in your overall architecture of the apps that you're using. Again, a couple of examples that are there again is the collections piece. So Edge's collection and OneNote work well together, Google Collections and Google Keep. It's very rare that you're going to have crossover between a browser and into a different sort of eco software or ecosystem, I should say. Regular updates. So with whatever browser you do choose, you need to provide updates, and again, if those browsers, as most of the mainstream browsers like Edge and Chrome will be, they'll be supported by Google or Microsoft. So update your browsers. It'll make sure that it is ready to fight from a security standpoint and will be operating at its optimum speed. For larger businesses, if you have a staff member that you can afford to assign as a lead to take care of all those updates, that's probably the way forward. Or if you outsource your IT support, then you can really not worry about that effectively. But it should be mentioned, or service level agreements should be possibly obtained to make sure that your browsers and other applications are kept up to date and fully supported. So most of the browsers are free. Pretty much all the browsers are free, but some of the extensions or some of the capability of them can require payment, normally in the form of people buying extensions to perform particular tasks. As I said, most are free. I don't think I pay for anything on browsers, but just be aware of overlap. So some extensions may require additional security or VPNs to be put in place, which can sometimes be over and above what you need, or you may find that other applications that you're using, such as let's say I use Norton Antivirus, for example, which has a VPN built in, so I don't need to go and buy an additional VPN extension or add-on for my browser. It's a cost that I don't need to incur. So just be very cautious of that. I think sometimes some of the browsers can nearly force you down a paid route quite quickly, and it's not entirely necessary. And if you find yourself worrying about those costs or wondering if costs are relevant, just I'd say reach out to the vBON group and for an opinion, and as per usual, you'll get an opinion quite quickly. So that's cost and licensing. Privacy and data concerns is probably something that is more to the front of people's minds now with GDPR and the data protection officer and recent fines of the bigger companies. So I've just included a very quick analysis between two of the browsers here, being Chrome and Brave. And if people aren't that familiar with Brave is quite a good security conscious and sort of anti-tracking browser. But again, it's not very well used, but it is safe. So again, there's some comparisons here, and maybe I think sometimes people, or maybe not so much anymore, people used to be shocked about the amount of information and data that Google uses or takes from you or tracks on you. But like you can see it there, the mindset or the model that's used within Brave is entirely separate to that of Google and Chrome. So do be aware of that. If you are handling, quite confidential client data, if you're visiting locations online that you don't want to have tracked and you don't want to be hit with ads, then you may consider using a more privacy and data centric browser model than Chrome or Edge for that matter. My tip there is to check GDPR compliance. Again, I would probably point you to Amit on this front. Most of the browsers have a developer console. Now, I don't mean to get too technical, but within the developer console, you can see how cookies are loaded up and when, more importantly, the cookies are loaded up. But to be compliant with GDPR, they must be opened and activated in a particular manner. And like Amit's an expert in that space, we'll be able to work through that with you. But do check that the browser that you're using is managing cookies in a compliant manner. Sorry, because ultimately that could come back on your business that you're using a tool that's not GDPR compliant. So mobility and cross-device synchronization. So the way the world has moved now, it's fantastic to be able to use an application on your desktop device or on your laptop, and then when you're sitting on a train, Vinny, that you can pick out your phone and you can have transferred data or locations from your desktop browser to your mobile browser, and you can work seamlessly across the devices. And that should work with passwords, bookmarks, frequently visited sites. Sorry, the example I've given there is for people that don't know how to use real devices like laptops and or Android mobile phones. Then we have the Fisher Price version there, which is the Safari and the Apple devices. For those people that struggle to use real computers. I don't know, only joking. I can see Amit getting very upset. A tip on this front, again, guys, is always try and be security focused. So 2FA or two-factor authentication is a really key part to have enabled when you're using, well, really wherever you see an option security-wise to enable 2FA, you should have it enabled. It's a really strong security tool, but in particular when you're working cross-device. Yeah, so yeah, the step-by-step guide, if you will, to choosing it. Audit the tools that you're using and your staff requirements. Test the various browsers that are out there. Have a look at the security and if everything is working together with the browsers, and plan your rollout and how you're going to train your staff up on the positive or all the aspects of the browser of choice. Um, Mistakes to avoid, yeah. The market share is 70% Chrome, and I'm sure that drives a lot of decisions of business say, well, if it's good enough for Manus or Chris or Amit, then it's good enough for me. I'm going to use Chrome. That's possibly not the best choice to use. Ignoring updates means you're essentially going to have security risks on your browser, not involving staff. If you're looking for buy-in for people to use particular tools in a particular way, and you don't consider their opinion, then they're not going to use it for you or in the way that you want it. And forgetting mobile, don't forget mobile. Something might look and operate well on desktop, but it could be absolutely horrendous on mobile and cause great difficulties. So the takeaways, I would suggest security first. Like absolutely in this day and age, it must be your primary consideration. Making sure that everything is compatible and working with all your software. Fast and user friendly, yeah, so that it's going to work within, or sorry, to increase your time and efficiency, and that it works with all the ecosystems that you have employed within your IT infrastructure. I'm sorry, I'm just realizing how much I've repeated myself. Yeah, updates are critical, and be wary of the paid features. And now it's sorry, I know I've kind of probably flown through stuff there, guys. I hope it has helped. But if anybody has any questions, I'd be delighted to try and answer them.